yeah, it's just kind of about, in context, like in my mind, I kind of see a zombie apocalypse. Kind of like with Real Boy, I see a robot apocalypse. I don't know what it is about apocalypse, but
I was actually going to ask you if you watch The Living Dead.
Yeah, The Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead, sorry.
Yes, I do.
Okay,
I've only seen the first 2 episodes of this new season, but I have watched all of them up until like the beginning.
Well, I won't ruin anything for you, but just when you mentioned that, it's like he's got to be watching The Walking Dead for some of these songs.
Oh yeah, I watched The Walking Dead. And, I like zombie movies and stuff. I'm not like huge into them, but there's some good ones.
No, fair enough. I mean, it's more or less for the appeal, and it's just kind of stupid. It's funny. Like, no, it's. No, I'm not gonna get into it. You know what? Forget it, because this could go on a completely possibly wrong tangent.
Sure.
So let's get back to the music here for a second. I'll stop myself from sidetracking.
Sorry.
So the last song we're gonna get to here is called "We Are the Ones," and you know what? I'll be honest with you. When I first saw the title, I knew it wasn't like it, but I thought of "We Are the World," and just because we are the ones, so.
Oh yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
So it wasn't initially meant to be connected in any way, shape, or form, but just like it's like oh yeah, well, yeah, kind of, but no, I really got into this tune because when I listened to the whole EP, this is the one I got into the most, and I really enjoyed. And it just, for arrangement wise, it seemed to flow really well, and I really liked the bridge, the breakdown.
Oh, thank you.
So
thanks, man. I appreciate it.
We are going to get to We're the Ones and talk a little bit more about the EP. So this is The Shape of the Sun, We're the Ones. Dig this.
this time, we still believe that we aren't the ones that we should be. Oh.
Right on. We Are the Ones, Shape of the Sun, and that is my favorite song on the EP. Like I said, just before I got off to play the song, that I really love the breakdown, and the bridge to it is just really cool. And it's really kind of stuck out to me. I don't know why, but I just really, really love the melody to this one.
Oh, thank you.
And lyrically, it just flows so well. Just before I get moving on here, too, I just want to point out that the next guest I have coming on One Man Standing, I wanted me to let you know that he's really digging your stuff right now.
Oh, really?
Yep.
That's awesome. Thank you.
So he just sent me a DM say, tell Nate that I'm really digging his stuff. I really like the music.
Awesome. And he's going to be on next week, or?
He'll be on actually after we're done. We're gonna take a break and then he'll be my next guest on.
Like your second segment or whatever?
Yep.
Sweet.
Because I could do it straight through. I just break it up to give people a chance to take a quick breather, kind of regroup, do what I have to do, so they're not kind of rush.
Right.
So cool. It's better than saying, you know what? Okay, you got about 3.5 minutes to go to the bathroom, get this done. It's like, oh man, like how can I get all this done? Right?
Yeah.
We're quick, but not that quick.
Yeah.
As much as we like to think we are. So.
Right.
So that being said, it is a great tune, and I really enjoy this one. Now, this one, I know we've talked quite a bit about songwriting and that sort of thing. But the next thing I want to get to is, Nate, is who are your influences? Because that's what I'm really curious about.
Good question. I would say probably one of my biggest influences, at least in the past couple of years, would be Spoon.
Okay, right on.
That's a big one for me. I was listening to a lot of Cold War Kids. The Killers. Trying to think what else. I mean, I grew up on when I mean grew up, it was like a teenager. I was into punk rock.
Right.
It was mostly punk rock, like pop punk. I mean, Green Day.
Oh yeah.
And then more obscure bands like Screeching Weasel and NoFX and stuff like that. So I mean, I know there's a little bit of that in there because just the pop influence and sometimes the guitars and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, recently, and even I didn't really get into the Beatles and David Bowie until 10 years ago, maybe.
Right.
So I know that everybody, of course, everybody's the Beatles influence everybody pretty much, but David Bowie too. But I didn't really listen to him until a couple of years ago. But Ziggy Stardust album kind of blew my mind once I actually sat down and listened to it. So that's a definite one for me too. But
well, I mean, it's always interesting to me too, as far as the influences go, as to where and when they came along, because I mainly, like I said, I'm 37, so I was born in '79, and my first little kind of introduction to music was my parents listened to classical. But my dad was also a big Beatles fan, and on the other side of the coin, my mom was like Simon and Garfunkel and that sort of thing, and so it's kind of like a huge mix, and plus throw jazz in the mix as well. So I got an introduction to a lot of different styles of music kind of pretty quickly, and of course, right before I had the teenage years, you go through a little hip hop stage, and when I was growing up, it was like people like Young MC, right?
Oh yeah, sure.
And
I was really into hip hop, in the probably early '90s.
Right. Well, Black Box, and Beastie Boys, Fight for Your Right had just come out when I started getting into them, and then I progressed from there. And then once in high school, then it was more influenced by the Beatles and the Doors and the Who, and then Sex Pistols and the Ramones and all that stuff. Kind of followed with Pink Floyd, and then your mind's kind of really started being opened up to different genres of music and just the way things are done. And just thinking wow, this album was done when? Because it's way, way ahead of its time. And one of the main albums, obviously is Dark Side of the Moon. I mean, that one, there's no dispute whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you mentioned the Ramones, that was a big one for me too.
Oh man, I tell you, I've had about 4 different Ramones shirts. Well, the same one, but because I've worn so much, they've worn out. So the infamous one, with American Eagle, it's got all their names around the circle.
Sure. Oh,
yeah, I bought that shirt about 4 times already because I wore it out so much.
Yeah. Yeah, they were great. I mean, they're like, that's pretty much what, I mean, punk rock, I mean, pop punk, that's every band that came off after them was influenced by, they were influenced by the Ramones. So.
Exactly. Well, I think it's even with Green Day when Dookie came out, and I was like, there's got to be more. And then, of course, I discovered Kerplunk.
Oh yeah,
which was
sure. Yeah,
right before that, right? So they're kind of breaking the mainstream, because that was one thing for me. Is like a lot of bands that came out, I kind of took a chance, and at the time, I guess when we were picking up music, not everything was available right at the touch of a button. We didn't have Google or all we had was Much Music and MTV.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, we had to go out and actually buy the CD. So.
Exactly, and take a chance with it. And there's a couple bands I'm glad I did, so it was kind of a good time. So now, like, it's nice to be able to kind of hear it ahead of time, but I kind of like the not vagueness, but just the excitement of possibly a band being really cool and just hearing a few seconds of it, like, actually at the store as opposed to online or somewhere else.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can even remember buying. This might sound stupid too, but buying CDs based on what the cover looked like, or reading the song titles of a CD.
Fair enough, yeah, right on.
Or what it was grouped next to, and being like, I think I'm going to buy the CD. It may suck, but I'm going to take a chance. So.
No, I've done that a few times too, and the one band I'm kind of glad I did with, and this one I'll never forget because I've seen a few times, and I haven't interviewed them yet, but I was given permission to play some of their songs too, which is really cool. Is a Canadian band called The Tea Party.
Okay. And
when I first saw the video for their song called The Rivers, like, these guys are super cool, and I'm going to go out and buy CD and just going to kind of cross my fingers and hope it's a good CD, and it was. And I've seen them about 4 or 5 times, and each show was really cool. The first time I saw them, they were first getting going, right? And they were playing his song, and the one song, it was a 12-string acoustic, and he busted a string, so he had to have the string replaced. So the tech came out to start replacing the string for him. So he's kind of ranting on through the song. He's like, that's a creepy, but it's a cool rant, and man, did he cover that well.
Oh, yeah, right? Yeah.
So
that's a skill, I think.
Well, yeah, no kidding, right? So, and then that's the thing is, like, we in some cases we kind of had it better, the fact that we kind of had to take that chance and not just kind of rely on just one song that we heard and say, you know what, there's a possibility these guys will be really cool and we'll go for it.
Right, for sure.
So, Nate, we're going to get into a few songs now. We'll still ask you for more questions, but to get a few songs that aren't yours. So, we got about at least 3. And the first one up is a band called The Everglows from the UK. And the song's called Julia Lost. Dig this.
Julia remains a little cold and shy about it. Julia retains the right to scream and start a riot.